Hey everyone, Cell here with what people have been asking for, many people at least in the community. It's the meta shakeup. It's finally here. People have been asking nonstop. If this isn't the patch that will sate the desire for a meta shakeup, then it doesn't exist. Lots of stuff here. I'll mostly be going over the gem changes, but check out the patch notes. Fully detailed here. Big thing is a lot of skills are changing. And we're not talking about 2 extra cleave radius, alright? Voice is a little fried, talked a lot today, but I am going to jump into some of the skill changes and some of the important ones especially. So I guess right off the bat, I'll talk about the nerfs. Gonna use Control F here. Righteous Fire, nerfed for most people. So, Righteous Fire used to not have base damage, as it currently does. Level 20, 2,447.9 fire damage per second. It used to be smaller than that, and it dealt more of a percentage of your life in ES as damage. But before that, it used to not have the base damage at all, and it was entirely based on your life in ES. Now it's back to that state. It'll have a bigger radius here, thanks to the quality with less burning damage. But there's no base damage, and it'll deal 70% of your max life in ES as base fire damage per second. Used to be 35, now it's 70%. So, to break even with the old Righteous Fire damage, you will need at least a combined total of 7,000 life and energy shield. If you have less than that, you're going to deal less damage. If you have more than that, you're going to deal more damage. Most of you are going to have less than that. Pretty common to be in like the 4 to 5k range with the Righteous Fire build. Which, I guess I can do some math on that. Let's see, 4,000 times 0.7 is about 2,800 damage per second. I was going to show that on the screen, but I'm not configured for that right now. Versus the 4,200 it was before. So about 2/3 the damage is what Righteous Fire is going to be like before quality. You're going to have more AoE though, I guess. Another thing, so that's one of the couple of main skill changes, I would say. The rest are related to the quality changes, which, if you don't know, they've changed the quality of pretty much everything because they are changing the alternate quality system, getting rid of it, and enchantments and all that jazz. Again, go read the patch notes. I don't want to hold the video up too long, but continuing on with the non-quality related changes, we have Summon Raging Spirit. If you are playing a Lightning SRS or a Poison SRS with the base quality, you can expect about a 28% nerf. If you're playing with Divergent quality, you can expect about a 33% nerf. So SRS on a Poison or Lightning-based character dealing about 2/3 the damage it did before. That's because it no longer deals more damage. Scaling with level. This would be 38 at 20, 40% at 21. Now it's gaining more base damage as it levels up, which gets converted to fire damage. So most people are not utilizing the base damage very well. Poison, you're not using it at all. Lightning, you're not utilizing it to good effect. So really, this is a bit of a Guardian buff in disguise because it's dealing mixed damage anyways, and increasing the base damage increases the effectiveness of Hatred, but it's only a buff relative to the other classes. It's still an overall nerf because you're getting less effective damage from Anger and Wrath from your relics. The quality is pretty nice though. Movement speed was also nice as a base quality, but up to 30% chance to summon an extra minion is decent while mapping, and it might push you to get rid of Unleash for single target scenarios. Keeping in mind that all these qualities scale with ashes as well. I guess I can mention that as a side note before we get too far into it. Ashes of the Stars from Eaterfolds does no longer give increased reservation efficiency. I don't have one of these, actually, so I may churn through my invitations doing non-Uber in Standard just to see if I can get one and try to divine it to perfect before it goes away forever, because this is becoming a legacy item in Standard. It'll no longer have the reservation efficiency. Heat Shiver also getting nerfed for any build considerations there. Anyways, back to the skill things. Those are the two main things. Calm Spirit, also kind of relevant. Going from a rage for 100 life recovery per second to a rage for 300. Sorry, brain is fried after a long day. Whoops, I'm searching the wrong thing. Vortex has been nerfed. If I can find it here. There are a lot of Vortex skills. It is no longer an instant cast, which is a big hit to Cold Dot builds, because you normally throw this on left click, and that makes for a pretty smooth playstyle. That's going away. Hit-based Vortex, pretty much also going away, because they, for some reason, also destroyed the hit damage by a lot. Let's see, at the top end there, 1169 over 1813 is about a third down. Not really sure why they felt the need to do that, but they did it. It's on the slower side as far as skills go too, at 0.75 second cast time. Yeah, I don't know if Cold Dot will survive, but there's potential. We could get into that in a second here, at least for the mad scientists out there. Another minor nerf here. Alt quality on Herald is gone, as with everything else. So alt quality Herald of Agony is gone. It's relevant for poison builds because you use that to fill out your poison chance a lot later on in the game. And that's gone now, so just a point of consideration if you're running a poison build. Now, on to the other stuff. Explosive Arrow. Unnerfed. If you can get more explosive arrows stuck into an enemy, then it's possibly even buffed. So, in that sense, maybe the meta is not shaken up so much, but for at least Cold Dot, SRS, and RF, they got nerfed, so it's certainly the case. Still some tried and true builds here, though, like Explosive Arrow. And actually, Lightning Arrow got buffed because its quality is not useless anymore. Its usefulness is debatable, but undeniably better than before. It used to have chance to shock, now it has up to 2 additional enemies will be hit with the pseudo chaining effect. The base is 3 enemies, by the way, so this is a 2/3 increase on that, leading to potentially better clear, and potentially even better single target if you are looking at chaining to one big single target from surrounding enemies. And there is actually something in the League mechanic that causes you to spawn enemies when you hit the boss in this scenario, if that's what we're going with. And so that's potentially relevant there. Now, some other things are trap skills. Ice Trap, 15% chance to trigger again. This is all, I'm going by 20 quality numbers here. Again, remembering, can also scale these up with ashes if you so desire. There's also Lightning Trap, does very much the same thing. And big one for me, because I've played it and know how relevant this is, Explosive Trap. Quality now causes 0 to 2 smaller explosions instead of 10% AoE. Explosive Trap, you don't really want AoE anyways. It's actually a hindrance at a certain point because it'll cause less AoE overlapping on single targets, and it's primarily a single target skill. So this is an amazing change for Explosive Trap. If you're thinking about playing it, this would probably be a great league to try it, even if as a bosser. The clear isn't the absolute worst. You can do like an increased AoE conk effect kind of swap. So yeah, potential there to try that out, and it may or may not be meta. I think people will catch on to it a little bit before the league starts and say, hey, this is a good thing. But for now, something to keep an eye on. Offering skills. Go Flesh Offering. All got buffed, pretty much, to give increased effect instead of duration. You could have 100% uptime on them all by default anyways, so the extra effect is just a straight up buff. And probably a lot more things other than this. And I have not even gotten into the actual things, which are way further down here. Some support gem changes as well. Some of them got nerfed, like Swift Assembly, 5% throwing speed instead of 10%, but most of it's fairly minor and pales in comparison to the actual active skill quality changes. Let's see. Some minion skills got changed mostly to simplify the wording on the gems themselves. So a lot of minions had 0 to 78% increased life, scaling up as they leveled. Well, now they just have more life at a baseline. So that line of text is not there, but they should have about the same amount of health. Let's see if I can find this in here. Oh, they don't actually have them listed yet because Mark mentioned they're still cranking them out. His words, not mine. Transfigure Gems are replacing alternate quality gems, and from the ones they've shown off on stream at least, they're going to be potentially very interesting. So there's one that makes zombie skills and raise zombie instead of raising a zombie. Zombie falls out of the sky and dies when it hits the ground and deals damage to enemies. That just sounds awesome, and it triggers minion death effects, so sounds pretty great. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this league. That's not even to say anything about the league mechanic, which looks amazing. I think it'll be an instant fan favorite, unless something is like horribly bugged, but I think even if it is, they fix it and people still like it. Just because there's a lot of build potential for new builds, enhancing existing builds, a lot of customization, and it's an in-map kind of, but also kind of not in-map mechanic that juices mobs in the map. I think it'll be good. So I'm very much looking forward to going pretty hard this league, and I'm ready for it. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention. Tornado Shot. The helmet enchant for Tornado Shot is now the quality for Tornado Shot. Accessible to everybody. Something to keep in mind. Anyways, if anything stands out to you, I didn't go over everything. I haven't even read everything because there's like hundreds of changes here. So I'm going to look into more of that now, but if you have anything that's caught your eye, maybe gets your theory crafting brain spinning up a little bit, let me know down in the comments. I'm eager to see what everybody's cooking up right now, and thanks for watching. See you with more content soon. Peace.